Hello, years 7, 8 and 9, because this is for all of you, because I feel like we need a recap. So I hope everyone's doing well. It has been absolutely ages since I've seen you, so I hope you're all keeping well. I thought this would be a good opportunity to, as we can't play our instruments or go on the computers, to just recap some of the basics that we might have forgotten. So this is just a quick recap lesson on musical elements. There is a Google form to go with this. And yeah, let's get going without further ado. So we're going to list some of the musical elements. I'm going to show you some examples. Then we will listen to some extracts and talk through it together. Then you will fill out a form, a Google form that I have attached to this assignment. Right, so the basics. We're going over them. Pitch. Pitch is how low or high notes sound. So you could have ascending pitch going up, yeah, or descending pitch. But you know that it's to do with how high or low the notes sound. So you could say that if you heard an extract, it was a low male voice, and you could talk about how the pitch of his voice is low, etc. Tempo. Okay, so tempo is the speed of the pulse. So most pieces of music have got a pulse. They're not just random. They've got a click that they're going to. I've just got here, I think it's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, is it? Can't remember. So I'd say that's medium to fast pulse. Okay, if you were to slow that right down, you can hear that the tempo has changed. And I'm so bored, I'm going to stop it. If you were to speed the tempo up to quick, or it's sometimes called allegro in classical music, it's so fast it stopped already. Alright, so tempo is the speed of the pulse of a piece of music. Dynamics. So, the volume of the music. So you think about your volume knob on your, I don't know, stereo player. Do you have them nowadays? Or even your little volume buttons on your phone where you turn the music up or down. But it's not just to do with the whole piece of music. You can have different instruments playing at different dynamics. Let me play this and see if you can hear what I'm talking about. So I believe this is going to get quieter. Can you hear it getting quieter? And then it gets louder. Can you hear that little melodic line? Getting louder and louder. That one. So in that extract, the piano started off fairly loud and it got quieter, and then this that started off really quietly and got louder. So dynamics don't just talk about simply the whole piece getting louder or quieter. You can talk about different instruments. Duration. Literally, duration means how long the notes last for. So you could be singing a song like la 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 la, where obviously the notes are quite long, so the duration's long. They could be using these are called semi-breves. They last for 4 beats, or minims last for 2 beats. So if you had this here, you'd be going 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you had 2 of these, you'd be going 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you had these 1, 2, 3, 4, they're called crotchets. So they would have a quite quick, they would be quick compared to minims or semi-breves. And then you have quavers. Remember, milkshake, 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 milkshake. And then you have semi-quavers, even shorter duration notes. Coca-Cola, 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 Coca-Cola. Whoops. So duration is how long the notes last for. So rhythm. Rhythm is actually quite hard to explain because it's kind of so simple. So a pattern of sounds in space, that sounds quite abstract, doesn't it? So anything you make a noise with is a rhythm. So if you go, that's a rhythm. This melody has a rhythm. The rhythm is dun, 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 dun. So when we're talking about rhythm, you can describe rhythm in lots of ways, like there's lots of notes with short duration. They use quavers, or they use crotchets, or they use semi-breves. So that's all this stuff we were talking about. Rhythm is just a pattern of sounds in space. Even speaking has a rhythm to it. Timbre. Okay, the colour or tone of sound which instrument is playing. So it's to do with, for example, on this lovely little graph we've got, if a violin was playing, even if it was the same note, let's say a C, okay, the sound waves would look different and it would sound slightly different to if a flute was playing a C. So the timbre is different. Often when you're asked about timbre in music questions and listening tests, it means speak about the instruments. So let's listen to the same melody being played but by different instruments. Piano, brass instrument, little organ, and a guitar sound. So yes, it's the same melody, it's the same pitch, we know what they mean now, but it's different timbre. It sounds different. Texture, the layers in music, how full or thin the music is. So this is quite a nice little diagram for you. So you can have a thick texture with lots of instruments playing, and then also lots of instruments playing different parts. So they're all climbing on top of each other and creating a thick, full texture. Or you can have just, I don't know, one thing playing, or two things, like that's quite a thin texture. If you were to add, it thickens the texture a little bit because you've added a layer. Let's listen to this. So thinking about textures, I will probably talk through it. The same piece as before. So this is quite a thin texture, it's just chords, but there are 3 notes in each of the chords. And then more layers. Drums layer, melody layer. Still quite thin, there could be more textures added, like bass, and that little one. So at the end there, we had the bass, we had the drums, we had the little we had the melody. I believe we had 4 layers at the end there. And on the drums, we'd added that, which does just thicken the texture up a little bit. So hopefully that's illustrated that it's to do with layers. Structure. How the different sections of the music are put together. So most songs that you listen to, most of the time, songs will have a verse or a chorus. I don't know, if you listen to rap music, there's often a verse and a chorus. Pop music, there's often a verse, chorus, and a bridge section. That's normally what happens. But this is A, B, A, so you've got an A section, then a B section, then back to A. Year 8 might remember this, and Year 9. So this is your A section. B section. So it's slightly different. Then it goes back to A. Lovely. So often when we speak about structure in music, we can use A, B, or A, B, C, A, B, which means C is a different section. But structure just means how the different sections of music are put together.